Okay, without further ado, let us welcome Dr. Erniza.
Dr. Tawamaran Ganesan, committee members, participants to the webinar High Impact Publication Thesis Development Journey for PhD and Master Student. This program is organized by Postgraduate Units, Academic Affairs, and Publication and Excellence Unit under RICAN, University Technology Mara, Perlis Branch, RO Campus. Alhamdulillah, thank you Allah, and with His bless, we have this opportunity to gather here. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to say that this program provides a platform for universities to expand knowledge and expertise in writing high-impact publications. Academicians and students can increase the visibility of the research through publication and also boost their skill in research. This benefits the universities to achieve the vision, mission, and objective of the UiTM to become a globally renowned university by 2025. Furthermore, this program has the potential to gather the interest and participation to be excellence, synergy, and integrity. I'm sure this program helps the university for winning the high impact of research through a knowledge-sharing cohesive research ecosystem, as well as to achieve the KPI and PI of the university. So, I wish every single person here today will benefit from this webinar, regardless of their position on this campus. Through this webinar, I believe all academicians and especially postgraduate students will take this opportunity as guidance to accomplish your mission, which is to finish the study within the time given. Again, I would like to welcome you to the webinar High Impact Publication and thank you especially to our respected speakers, committee members, and all lecturers and students of UiTM Perlis Branch for your contribution and time in attending this program. With that, I now declare that the webinar High Impact Publication Thesis Development Journey for PhD and Master Student is open, and may you have a fruitful session. Thank you and good day. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Dr. Erniza, for the speech. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before we continue, allow me to introduce our speaker for today. Dr. Tawamaran Ganesan. For those who don't know him, he is actually a writing prodigy who has published extensively in quartile 1 journals with more than 60 publications. He is also the founder and chief editor of Proofreading by a UK PhD, an academic consulting firm that provides services across many verticals. So I believe he is the best individual to talk to us today about high impact publication. Now I shall hand over the program to Dr. Tawa. Let's welcome Dr. Tawa.
All right. So, okay, I can unmute now. So, thank you very much, Dr. Shazwani, for hosting the event today. And thanks, Dr. Ayn again, and thanks to Deputy Rector as well for a speech. And thanks to the entire organizing committee and all the participants as well for attending. I think we have more than 200 now. I think soon the numbers will keep increasing. So, that's good. So, let's get started. Let's not keep all of us waiting. Let me share. Oh, I cannot share yet. Dr. Ayn, sharing, please. Permission?
Naim, could you please allow Dr. Tawa to
Okay,
share?
dah, okay dah. Thank you. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so this is the exquisite journey to high impact publishing. Okay, before we start, very good morning to everyone. I hope you guys are okay, still refreshed from yesterday's class. Hopefully, I did not confuse you guys from yesterday. If you're confused, that's okay. That's perfectly normal. If you're not confused, also perfectly normal. Either way, you're good. Okay, so like I said, being crazy is part of the journey. Okay, so let me just annotate here also. Okay, all right, done. So we can get started. So again, very good morning to all of you. The rule of the class is as usual, keyboard warriors, okay? Always keep typing, asking questions, informal sessions, so don't worry about anything. Don't feel shy to ask questions. Don't feel shy to share as well. If I'm going too fast, do let me know, but the time period is only until 12. I'll try to keep it within that clock. So, okay, let's get started. So let me just open some other pages as well. It'll be easier for us. Okay, excellent. All right. So yesterday's talk, we entirely focused on thesis, a bit on journal. Okay, we just touch base on the journal part. So today we are going to go completely in depth in terms of journal publication, high impact writing, and so on. What are the type of journals you can actually produce and so on. And we're going to touch very little on thesis. Okay, so now we are going to look at best of both worlds. That's what I call it, best of both worlds. So no point only learning how to write thesis, don't know how to write paper. But if you learn how to write paper, you can easily write thesis. Okay, this is my personal experience. All right. If you learn only how to write thesis, it's very hard to learn how to write papers. Okay, papers is a different ball game. But if you already learn how to write papers, it's actually very easy to write thesis because it's a matter of copy and paste only. All right, copy and paste, expand, copy and paste, expand, copy and paste, expand, paraphrase, 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 paraphrase. Because it's your own work. You're not copying anyone's work. All right. That's exactly what I did. So what I did was, okay, let me tell you how, okay, let me come back to my own story again, as usual. Lah. All right. Um, um, what I did was I focused very little on proposal and thesis. Actually, I focused very little. I focused entirely on the entirety of my idea on publication. So what I did, by the time I hit before my proposal defense, I mean, in the UK proposal defense, we call it midpoint progression (MPP), but it's a bit more severe, a bit more severe than Malaysia, where if you don't get through proposal defense, they won't let you to retry. They will actually ask you to leave the program and leave with MPhil only, Masters in Philosophy. They won't give you PhD. So they're a bit more crazier, all right? On that note, they're a bit more crazy. If they know you're not eligible, you cannot take the challenge, they'll just let you go. It happened before. I've seen my own eyes happen before. Okay, my own supervisor did that to another student, unfortunately. Okay, so this student from Iran, she couldn't make through midpoint progression, and she actually failed and left with only MPhil, couldn't continue to PhD. So that was not very nice thing to do. Then so what I did was I emphasized a lot on publication to strengthen the entire idea. Okay, that was one of my strategy. So when the midpoint progression came, proposal defense in the case of Malaysia, I just copied, I think at that point of time, I probably had like 6 or 7 papers, most likely. I just copied all of it, wrote my introduction, problem statement, chapter 1, literature review, all the theory and so on. And then the rest, all papers. I paste, I rewrite, and I basically did comprehension lah. I did comprehension, expanded. I just made it into different chapters, submit. Okay, went through very well. Same thing I did for my thesis. So after my proposal defense, I continued publishing, continue, because while writing papers, you actually do a lot of literature review. You do a lot of diagrams. You write a lot, you read a lot, and all those things, individual papers, can be expanded into chapters if you strategize it precisely well. Okay. So that's what I did. So at the end of my 2 years and 1 month, when I started writing thesis, I had 12 papers. All those 12 papers, this is what I did, exactly what I did, my strategy. Chapter 1, the same stuff, what you guys are doing now, background, introduction, problem statement. We didn't have research questions, engineering, no RQ, only RO, research objectives. So problem statement, research objectives, and then whatever else in chapter 1, significance and blah, blah, all those things. But I had other elements in my chapter 1. I had contribution diagram. Okay, I had contribution diagram. This is It's a very important thing that we do back in the days. We basically, I came up with the idea because my supervisor wanted to see programmatically or in a diagram, how does my contribution entail? What does it become? So let me just quickly show you. I've done a class on that quite some time ago actually, and it was very effective. A couple of students in Malaysia tried it out, and their Viva were very, very good. One of the example was Dr. Anusha from UUM. Okay, she graduated law, I think, about 1.5 years or 2 years ago, and she did that contribution diagram, and the outcome was very, very good for her. The examiners loved it. So it's called thesis contribution diagram, also known as K chart, if I'm not mistaken. The technical term is known as K chart lah. Let me see if I can pull out that particular class. Okay, it's taking some time to load. Okay, never mind. If it loads, I'll definitely show you guys later. Let it load first. For some reason, Facebook is very slow. So, okay. Then chapter 2 was standard literature review, theory, formulas, mathematics, frameworks, solution, system, solution, whatever you guys do, standard thing, theory, conceptual framework, and so on. Then chapter 3 were 2 papers, okay? Chapter 4 were 2 papers. Chapter 5 were 2 papers, 6 2 papers, 7 2 papers, 8 2 papers, and 9 was, chapter 9 was conclusion, and that's it. Okay, conclusion, future work, blah, 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 the same thing. Okay, so yeah, so that is another strategy that you guys can take on depending on your supervisor style. My supervisor style was all publication. He was not bothered about thesis at all. He say, thesis will write later. As long as you get your papers, I'm not really bothered. So that was his style. Malaysian style is a bit different. We go for proposal and then thesis first. So that's why today's class, I'm going to teach you, while going on that style, how you can, when and what kind of papers you can actually extract as you go, okay, as you move forward, all right? So let's get started. So I'm not going to go through this. I think we have already done very good introduction yesterday, so I'm going to save time by not going through this. Okay, I'm going to go through this. I'm going to introduce who we are, what we do, where we are located, and so on. So we are proofreading by UK PhD. This is the organization that enabled me to give these talks. Okay, that actually gave me the platform. Okay, thanks to people like Dr. Ain who actually enabled the entire program. So we are the only ISO 9001 certified company in Malaysia. Okay, in academic consulting firm. Academic consulting firm itself is a new paradigm, to be fair. And then we are also CFEP, SFEP certified and HRDF certified as well. These are all our presence at the moment, about 34 different countries, and some of the institutions that we officially work together under official proofreadership, MOU, and so on. These are some of our numbers, and this is what we do. Okay, so on that note, what we do in terms of verticals of services that we provide, today we are going to cover mostly on publication. We are going to deep dive into thesis to journal conversion, so it's very important for you guys to focus today a bit on thesis, and then we're going to look into language again, as usual, all right? So these are the key items we are going to explore today. All right, again, same thingy, keyboard warriors. I want all of you to focus, all right, to stop doing whatever else that you're doing. We have very good numbers today. That means the good numbers represent the entire community where we can have very good discussion. Online learning is boring if you understand me. So therefore, discussion is very important. Q&A is very important to keep the enthusiasm, to keep us all engaged, to keep going so that we can keep continuously learning. It's not just one way. It's very boring. So all of you must be keyboard warriors, ask questions, be informal, and stop doing anything else that you're doing. Okay, just give your 2 hours here. You will never regret it. Okay. Okay, so to all of you, I have asked yesterday and I've shared yesterday as well. And for those who attended today for the first time, never attend yesterday, these classes, my free Facebook classes, can be found here. I just showed you guys earlier the entire playlist. So very simple, just go to Facebook page in case if you missed out yesterday. This is the link. Let me very quickly share it. This is my Facebook page link. Once you go in, please click follow button. The follow button is somewhere here. All right, you can click that follow button and click. Once you click that, there'll be favorites here. You can select favorites. All right, so that when I go live for new classes, you will be notified. Okay, if you don't click that button, you won't be notified. All right, so if you scroll down, you can have a lot of learning resources. Okay, under this 110 videos, free writing tutorials, you can click this and you can find out a lot of videos. Okay, PhD daily time planning, problem statement writing, mixed method research, research question design also is there, step-by-step review paper writing, scoping review journal, conceptual framework design. This will be very important for most of you. Thesis to journal conversion, some part of it. Prisma 2020 SLR, even that also I've shared. Writing research grant, we have many academicians today. So this is a specific class for academicians to write research grants. ISI Scopus journal rejection, literature matrix, how to build it, okay? How to read a journal for research. This is important class, very, very hot class, this one. All right, so there are many classes here. You can go through if you wish to, okay? And here is a direct link to the playlist. Miss Ruzana, the recording, I think you can speak to the organizing team because they have recorded it on their platform. I'm pretty sure they'll share with you. Okay, so but maybe you can have a word with Dr. Ain or rest of the, or Dr. Shazwani and so on. Okay. Okay, so let's continue. And these are my platforms. Okay, I believe most of you have joined my Telegram group yesterday. If you failed to join, here are the links again. Okay, so for today, some of the resources you guys going to download from Telegram group I'll be showing you guys. So just click search here, click concept paper. Okay, so I'm going to give you some very good sample papers here, this one. Okay, so I'm going to show you scoping review sample, SLR sample, Web of Science Q1 concept paper sample, and another concept paper sample from Prof. Sazali of Putra Business School. Okay, so this is very good resources, very important one. Mana pula? Okay, that's better. And then I'm also going to share my own paper, which I published now is June, 3 months ago. So I'm going to share that also with you guys. It was a scoping review based concept paper. All right. So I'm going to share that today as well as an example for all of you. All right. So those are the publications I'm going to share with you. If you want to download, please kindly click the first link and join. Okay. Join and remain there. Forever, I'm going to share resources on this platform. Hi, Juliana, how are you? So let me just check. My study is more on mixed method. Currently, I'm able to publish 11 papers on my study. Congratulations, very nice. 2 of it proofed by your company. Thank you very much for always trusting us. However, I find try to transfer my thesis data mixed study to one paper, but it seemed quite difficult. Okay, maybe we can take it offline. We can discuss and see how to do that because I need to understand the study again. Okay, it's not in my memory at the moment, but we'll take it offline. You can always WhatsApp me. Okay, all right. So, okay, let's continue. Okay, these are the things we're going to uncover today. Not just cover, but we're going to uncover. So, we are going to look at what are high impact journals. And then we are going to look at how to find a journal. That's important. Types of journal papers, criteria for high impact paper writing, potential extraction of journals from a thesis, why rejection happens, cover letter and sample. These are the items, 7 important items we're going to discover today. All right. So what is the, okay, now coming back to you guys. What is the publication requirement for master's, PhD, and your KPI? Did I ask this question yesterday? I don't think so. I cannot remember. Okay, but if you have never, if I didn't ask yesterday, you guys can answer today. What is the publication requirement in terms of your to graduate, Scopus or ISI? How many do you need for masters, PhD, and if you're an academician? What is the requirement for your KPI? Do we have any academicians today? Please do nudge me in the chat box if you have any academicians today. All can go back to chat box, yeah? Okay, one Scopus, one any index publication, UKM. Okay, all right. So all of you take your time to answer in the chat box. What is the requirement for your publication, Scopus or ISI? How many do you need? And if you have a KPI, if you're an academician, what is the requirement? I'll give you about 1 to 2 minutes. Okay, all right, two index. Juliana, you already went 11. Very good, congratulations. Okay, for UiTM staff, 2 index publication, senior lecturer. Okay, all right, thanks, doctor. Okay, for students, I believe it's 2 Scopus or ISI, right, if I'm not mistaken. Is ERA still considered possible in UiTM? Very good, Dr. Ain, very good. So ERA is still possible, yeah? Okay, all right. I take a note on that because I heard, 3 or 4 years ago from Dr. Rahim from UiTM Melaka that they're going to remove ERA from the requirement. But okay, I think it's still there. So, okay, fair enough, no problem. Okay, so let's go into what are high impact journals. Okay, how do you define high impact journals? Yesterday, I've spoke about this. I've explained what is high impact journal, but I'm going to deep dive. Okay, we have one more, Dr. Sharul. Azlina, 3 Scopus Q1 to Q4, UiTM staff, 53, 54. Okay, all right, very interesting. 3 Scopus, okay. No problem. So how do we define high impact? Okay, there are a few groups of people. People who frequently publishes in a high impact journal, they only define high impact journal as journals with impact factor. All right, journals with impact factor. That is the only requirement that they define as high impact. People who frequently publishes in Scopus, not so much in Web of Science or ISI, they define Scopus Q1, Q2 as high impact. All right, so it depends on your environment, your requirement, your personal goals, and you can define high impact accordingly. For people, the newcomers, for them, even index also already considered high impact. For them, that is enough. Okay, so I cannot judge anyone because there is no clear definition of what is high impact journal. But if you ask me, in the long run, if you say high impact journal, it's usually Web of Science journals, Web of Science with very good impact factor and so on. So I did share these 4 papers yesterday, very important papers. For me, these are absolutely high impact, okay, high impact factor. Do all of you know what is impact factor? If you don't know what is impact factor, feel free to say you don't know. Don't feel shy so that I can explain to you guys. If you know, you can say, yes, I know. Okay, so we have Nurhain. Okay. The more no you say, the better it is for you because it actually generates interest for me to explain. All right. Okay, thanks for being honest. So now I can explain. Scopus got no, Ramadan, Scopus got no impact factor. Scopus only got JCR, Journal Citation, not JCR, SJR. JCR is ISI. SJR, Simago Journal Ranking. They got 2. One is Simago Journal Ranking. They got one more name. This Scopus very weird one. Okay, but impact factor is a term only can be used by Web of Science. Not everyone can use that term. Okay, only Web of Science. It is a trademark copyright term by ISI, Web of Science. At the moment, Clario Analytics owns that. All right. Scopus, they cannot mention impact factor. So if you see any journal website, looks very fishy, looks very cheapo, really cheapo. But they claim that they put a triangle or something. They put the impact factor 17, impact factor 15. What you do, immediately go to Clarivate MJL, okay, Master Journal List, Clarivate MJL. You can Google it. Go there and search for the journal. If you see it doesn't appear, that is a scam journal. A lot like that, a lot. Okay. For you to hit impact factor 17, your journal must be very old, very old. Journal of Cleaner Production came into play back in 1992, I think. Okay, now it's 2022. That is already 20 years. Dia orang baru sampai 9.7 impact factor, I think. Just reach 9.7. So for them to be very, very high, first, a lot of people must cite that particular paper. The topic must be very hot. Second, the journal must be very old because they accumulate impact factor over time. It's over time factor. Ramadan again, SGR by Scopus comparable to IF? No, no, definitely not comparable. Okay, if you ask me, many people are putting annotation requests. I don't want to because it'll interrupt on my screen, so I'm declining the request. Yeah, hope you don't mind. SGR Scientific Journal Ranking, no, they also call it Simago Journal Ranking. One of it lah. Okay, either way, as long as it works. SJR is not comparable to IF because Scopus, not undermining Scopus, I don't undermine, I just recently published in Scopus Q1 also because it makes my life easier. Scopus is like Toyota, Web of Science is like Ferrari or BMW, all right? So Q4 is like BMW, Q1 is like Ferrari. So that's why to get Web of Science Q1 is like buying a Ferrari in actual life, all right? So once you already hit Q1, that means in academic world, you already buy the first Ferrari already, okay? Put it like that. The next one, okay, Geraldine, is it based on number of times the paper is referenced? Yes, it's being cited, you're right. The Nur Ain, Doctor, how you want to know the articles Q1, Q2? Okay, so Scopus is very simple. You can look it up in simagogr.com, simagogr.com. Kalau for Web of Science, you need to have access to Clarivate Analytics. You must pay for it. Like university, I think pretty much they'll pay. You can go through a university, log into Clarivate, and then you can check it out there. On the surface, you cannot check. Clarivate is very, very stingy. All right, they want everything to be paid. But usually I will get the information by Googling because sometimes they'll release that table. Someone somewhere in ResearchGate will release the table. And usually from the impact factor, I can sort of predict. So if it's usually more than 3 or 4, I know it's for sure Q1. If it's less than 3.5, less than 3, it's a bit skeptical, can be Q1, Q2. So from that is how I normally predict. Okay? All right. Yes, Yakub has shared simagogr.com. You can use that website. Okay, Yasmin, Yasmin, I answered Yasmin, how to know the impact factor of each general doctor? You can check on their website. Normally they'll have. Normally, if you go to the general website, they'll have. Or you can go to Clarivate Analytics. Okay, Clarivate Analytics. All right, CA. You just Google Clarivate Analytics. JCR, General Citation Reports boleh access melalui easy access, ada info on IF and Q. Okay, there you go. Easy access. Okay, so you can check it out also. For those journal indexed by Web of Science. Thank you very much, Dr. Mayudin. Thanks a lot. I think, I don't know whether Mr. or Dr. Yaakob, so you can also use that website, simagogr.com for Scopus. But keep in mind, very, very, very important, simagogr.com is slower to be updated compared to scopus.com. But scopus.com on the surface won't give you the quartile information. That's why I say it's very complicated. Our life is already tough being an academician, being in academics. These people make it even tougher. So scopus.com is the most updated, but you cannot get the quartile at the surface. I think you have to pay and get more access than you can find. But simagogr.com, which is the same thing it represents, that actually shows the quartile and so on. However, a journal, Scopus has the habit of very quickly kicking out a journal from Scopus. Very fast they'll kick out. So you won't know whether the journal is still Scopus or not. Simago GR might still say it's Scopus, but if you go to scopus.com, it will say no more. It will say Scopus from 1990 to 2021. Then you can know 2022, it is not Scopus anymore. But even then also, I've seen in my real life experience, clients publish in a paper, paid a lot of money, okay, to get it published, okay. It went through review process. It went through the proper process, not scam. Paid, accepted. It was August 2020. August 2020. August 2020. It was not 2020. August 2020. My very good friend from UPM accepted. August, paid the money to get it published. September, Scopus released, the paper is discontinued. The journal. Gone lah. Burn. So the journal can be republished because it's not online anymore, not online yet, but the money burned. The company never refund. That's it. So that's why very hard to predict sometimes. Very hard to say. Scopus is totally a loose cannon. Okay, total loose cannon. Suddenly they remove, suddenly they keep, suddenly they remove, suddenly they keep. Very unclear for people like us, for us publisher, for us researchers, very hard. Okay, so impact factor is a measure of how frequently a journal, like this case, this journal is renewable and sustainable energy reviews. Okay, this is the title of this paper published in this journal. Okay, so this is the journal, this renewable energy reviews. Inside this journal, say will have 10 papers, all right, per volume. This is one of the paper, all right. So depending on how many times the 10 papers are being cited in a year, this impact factor will increase or decrease of this journal lah, all right. The more these 10 papers get cited, the more the impact factor will increase. That's why it's an over a period of time measurement. That's why they have impact factor 5 years, 4 years, 3 years, 1 year, and so on. 5 years is the most precise lah. Because it's more fair, because not all papers will get cited every year. So that's why normally 5 years is more precise. Okay, so on that note, these are some of the 4 very good papers, locally written papers. If you want to read, you can go and read concept paper, systematic review paper, Dr. Harold's paper, this one is first SLR paper, narrative review paper, narrative review paper. So all these papers, we had our fingerprint on. So we know for sure personally, these are brilliant papers for you to read. So if you want to have a benchmark, how to write good papers, how to, like what diagrams you must produce, what figures to have, what charts to have, what graph to have, how to start an introduction, how to write literature review, how to write theory, go and read these papers. Okay, Dr. Harold, I know, I think now I'm working on his 13th paper, I think finished already. 13th or 14th paper. I know how he writes paper. Very nice paper to read. This is a concept paper from Perlis, also one of my co-author in my recent paper. Very good also. Then this is an energy related paper, and this is a food science related paper. These are all key review papers that have gone to very, very high impact factor. Okay, 14, 12, 10, 9. Very high impact factors. Okay. Many lah, nutrition actually you can go look at MDPI, you can look at BMC, you can look at PLOS ONE also, you can look at nutrition, you can look at Frontiers, ada banyak. Then you can look at BMC, this one. You can look at Royal Society journals, also a lot on health sector. You can look at Elsevier, you can look at IEEE Access, many, a lot. Okay. All right, how to publish in high impact? Okay, no problem, no worries. How to publish in high impact? Do good research. That is the most important part. If you don't do good research, whether review paper or empirical paper, people have the perception that review paper is easy to write. It's not a research paper. Actually, to be fair, I have to be honest, in certain circumstances, review paper, you need to do more research than empirical papers, because you have to read a lot of papers before you can review. So that is all part of your research process. Okay, you're researching what? Okay, formulate an important RORQ. Okay, do not work alone. Why I say do not work alone? It's good to have co-authors. Okay, I always write with co-authors because I don't have the time to do everything on my own. All right, like example, I recently published with Parvez. That was authored by 5 or 6 people, I think. Some of them are my friends. So, we write together, say, you do this part, okay, Parvez do this part, Parvez say, okay, you do this part, doctor, and so on. Same goes to all my previous papers. I wrote papers with Oxford, Georgia Tech, Edinburgh University, even German universities, University in Netherlands, Southampton, many different journals, okay, many different papers. We all take turn in what we do. But if you're freeloaders, then doesn't really matter lah whether they are there or not. Okay. Next thing, design a solid research methodology to produce amazing results. But if you don't have data, you can always opt for scoping or systematic review. With solid review, okay, I encourage review papers because it opens the door for you to publish, for you to learn how to publish, how to write papers, and don't need to wait until you get your data. All right. Requires solid writing, that goes without saying. With good research, you must have solid writing to present. Okay, like example, let me put it this way. If you look, I always refer back to Harry Potter film because it's one of the best films ever made. Okay, a series of films. So if you look at Harry Potter film, imagine if that film had very good story, very good density, very good what do you call the novelty, very good novelty. But if the paper was utterly bad in how it showed is the entire flow. Okay, like suddenly the some part of eighth come in the first part, some part of first goes in the fifth part. You know, it's like all over the place. It would have been nasty. No one would have watched that film. People who cannot follow, cannot understand, cannot appreciate. Although it's novel, although it's clear, although it's novel, although it's new idea. So having good research or having novelty without good writing is still going to screw it up. Okay, it must be engaging and flow nicely, like what Asia said here. All right, and then what do you mean by solid? Yes, solid means um, like you cannot just do add one variable and then just collect 200 sample for quantitative and then call that solid research methodology. Everyone is doing it. What are you doing differently? Maybe you can add on one more methodology. You can do maybe content analysis, or you can do a qualitative part of it to create a new instrument. Go for validation process, go the miles, extra miles, and get it more solid rather than just adopt, or even in terms of your framework, you can make it very complicated. Okay, not for the sake of publishing only, but for curiosity. You want to find out what is going on. So you add more mediators, more moderators, moderators, moderating mediators, serial mediators, parallel mediators. There are many different things you can do. All right, okay. So that's what I call solid lah. Okay, and most importantly, after you proofread, never change anything. Okay, never change anything. If your co-authors or supervisors still insist on some changes, don't do more than one time. Okay, because it will spoil the entire structural flow. Okay, so imagine a building. You already build a building. You already put the cement. You're putting up the tiles, right? Okay, so imagine suddenly you go halfway through, you break the tiles. Remove it. You add back, and then down there you break. You add back. How will it look? It will look horrible. Same thing. Okay, tiling part is the proofreading part. Make it look very nice. And you go disturb again, it won't look very nice. Okay, always keep that in mind. Document development, journal research can always be related to real life. Okay, real life physics. And by relating to that, you won't do those mistakes. Okay. So all right. So I think I've explained. So I think Miss Nadia, MD Pet Nutrition, IJ. Okay. Thank you very much. All right. Thanks for those information. What else? Must be an informative paper. Remember why I say informative paper with take-home message. What I'm trying to tell you is there must be value. Okay. There must be value in what you do. If you don't have value, if you don't have anything special to contribute, anything special to give from your paper, no one is going to read your paper. Yes, don't tampan-tampal after proofread. Don't do that, okay? Even if you do, please ask your proofreader to check back, but don't do more than one time, because the more you do, the more ugly it's going to be. Then only end up you have to redo everything again. All right? When I say informative paper, there must be something new. If you're going to review 20 papers and just copy and paste from the 20 papers into your paper and then expect people to accept it, they won't. Because you know why? If I go and read all those 20 papers, I can understand what you're trying to do. What is different from what you're going to give? Same like how you go and find new restaurants to eat, right? So today you go char kway teow here, tomorrow you go mee goreng there. Why you want that? Because you want something new. You cannot have the same thing again. The same food every day will make you bored. Same thing goes to research. That's why they say novelty, novelty, novelty. If it's already there, if it's already existing, other research, if we just take go summarize only, no point. Okay, summarize, anyone can summarize. What we want is new purview, new direction, new value from what you're doing. So always keep that in mind. What are you adding newly? What is it different in your case? Okay, and most importantly, well structured with perfect flow. Careless mistakes and bad language must be avoided because it is a very, very big mistake among academicians. We despise mistakes and bad language. It is just how we are built, lah. All right. Only one opportunity to convince your editor, otherwise you'll get desk rejection very quickly. Amazing cover letter I'm going to share with you today. A cover letter sample. So stay until the end. Otherwise, you won't know how to use that cover letter. So don't leave halfway, all right? And have a lot of patience. If you want to publish very fast, I want to publish fast, won't happen. It's not that easy, okay? Reviewers, journals, we don't own them. They own us. Unfortunately, that is the truth. Okay. So actually, journal publishers, publishing houses own the entire research world, whether we like it or don't like it. So we have to follow what they're saying. That is how it works, right? How novel is novel? Very hard to say, depending on topics, depending on how you're defining novelty also. So if you find something that is very, if you just have one framework, you add one variable, that is not so novel. You have to do something a bit more remarkable than that. We claim it new because little study mentioned. Can we do this as our new contribution? We claim it new because little study mentioned. Little study mentioned also, it's fine, but as long as the idea is entirely new, no one had done it before, then yes, definitely. Okay? So this is the entire editorial process. Author submits article. Okay, that means you guys. Article assessed by editor. Then they choose to reject immediately. That's rejection. And then they send you the same template. This paper is out of scope, blah, 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 blah. This is the proofreader that we recommend you to go and proofread, and then go and proofread. How many of you had seen that before? That's rejection, same email. Only 2, 3, okay. Okay, more. Okay. Even me also. Don't worry. We are on the same boat. Happened to me also. Happened to best of us. Okay, happened to the best of us. So why that happens? It's not because we are out of scope. It's because they have no interest in the paper. Okay, it's not because you never proofread. Because I have proofread so many papers, even my own papers also. They'll say the same thing. Go and proofread somewhere else. I'm like, these guys are really nasty lah. It's not because your paper is out of scope. It's because either your paper is low quality or your paper is not within their interest and your paper might not get the reference citations that they want. So they don't want to waste their time and they just give you standard reply. And those replies doesn't come from the editor. Okay, editor got no time to do that. It comes from their editorial staff. Okay, because these editors are full-time professors. Where they got time? You are looking at a supervisor every day, right? You're looking at, as a student or you're as a lecturer, you're looking at your superiors, right? Do you think they have time to go through one by one paper if they're editors? Of course they don't. They have no time. So this is all the staff doing. Staff have standard protocol. Some journal even uses software to filter that. Yes, they do. They have software, unfortunately. So even more harder to get through. So that's why there are certain key factors I'll tell you to make sure you avoid so that you don't get desk rejection. You can avoid desk rejection. It still happens, but you can reduce the probability. From Anwar, hi Dr. What about etika and garis panduan for doing research area or topic? Kenapa tidak boleh buat research berkaitan isu politik, kualiti pengajaran pensyarah, bukanlah penyelidikan itu berdasarkan isu yang tular atau sensasi untuk lihat kebenaran daripada hipotesis asal? That depends, Anwar. That depends because depends on where you are from. Okay, I cannot go deep into that. I don't want to actually. Depends. But if you look at Western countries, they're very open. Okay, they do a lot of political related research. They do a lot of teaching related research. They do a lot about academic related research. They do a lot about how universities are profiteering from students. A lot. We can find a lot of papers. Asian countries a bit tough lah. I'm not going to tell Malaysia, but Asian countries generally a bit tough. It will take some time for us to get that understanding and to, in terms of civilization, right? The mindset, okay? So their mindset, the Western mindset, they are already, their civilization started much earlier. Okay, so their maturity is, they are more open. Okay, so we at one point, I don't know where we're going to be, okay, in terms of mindset, whether we are going to be open or we are going to be closed door. How we think, how we perceive things, how sensitive we are. It depends. Okay, it really depends. Yes, subtle. I have to be subtle. Okay, I cannot go too deep into it. But it is what it is. All right, it is what it is. But I think gradually we are changing. I think we're improving a lot from where we were and where we are now in terms of mindset. I think we're improving a lot. We can openly see certain things. The more open we become in terms of research mentality, because research you cannot be very narrow, because that's where you're exploring, right? You're looking at human lives. what we are thinking, how we are thinking, how to improve our natural lives, whether engineering, whether medical, whether food science, or whether social science, whether business, or whether religion, whether politics, whether university. All these are part of our research to see how we can improve. That's what we are doing. We are not going to criticize anyone. So I don't know when we'll hit that lah. So we can leave that. Does the author's background affect the acceptance of the paper? Sometimes yes, sometimes not. How much it does, I don't really know lah. Okay, all right. But there's a perception saying that it's good to add authors from the Western countries. I don't really agree. I think if you write your paper well, your English is good, I think you can break through anywhere you want. All right. I broke through my university through a lot of barriers in the UK. In the UK, there was one conference called Optical Fiber Communication Conference. It's organized in usually in either New York or Los Angeles. Okay, Los Angeles. So my time it was organized in Anaheim, Disneyland. Okay, I actually went to Disneyland there thanks to the conference. So it was in Anaheim, southern part of it was southern California lah. All right. So 9 years. Okay, 9 years. My university, my research group, communication research group, we tried to break that conference. 9 years they failed. Okay, ninth year before my final year, I wanted to exit. I already finished, almost finishing. I tried, give it a final try, and I was the first one to break that barrier. All right, break that barrier, got it accepted after 9 years, and I got fully sponsored to go and present that paper. Okay, that was my first trip to the US lah. Yes, so background to a certain extent might affect, but it depends on how far you are willing to go. All right, what kind of novelty you're looking at. Because if your novelty is brilliant, your paper is brilliant, your language is brilliant, even if you come from the worst university in the world, they cannot stop you because the work is so good. They have to accept it. All right. How to gain confidence back to write after so many paper rejections? I know it's very tough. I get frustrated as well, but don't take it personally. Take it professionally. If you take it professionally, you will keep going. You will keep going. The day that you keep going, that's when you will know that this is how you shouldn't write a paper. This is how you should write a paper, and you can get acceptance. And then you can give talks like me. Because you know why? I had so many rejections in my PhD. So many. So many that because I'm only telling you about the 12 papers that got accepted. But I never tell you about the 20 rejections that I got or 30 rejections that I got. I think more than that, more than 20, easily more than 20 rejections. Okay, I submitted to so many journals, so many conferences, they rejected my paper. Then I learned. Okay, then I learned, okay, this is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. I shouldn't write like this. I get so frustrated with reviewers. They even ask me to go and write newspaper. You don't write academic paper, you go and write newspaper. This is not eligible for academic writing because my English was so poor. My English was very poor. If you're looking at me running a proofreading company now, don't think I was naturally born to write English. No, my English was horrendous. Okay, if your English is horrendous, I was like you before. How I improved? I read a lot. Okay, I took that as a challenge as part of my PhD journey because I was mocked by my supervisor. I was badly mocked by my supervisor and I had no money to go and proofread. So the only chance I have is to learn myself and proofread myself. And that's what I became now. All right. So now if I write a paper, I send. If the editor say language is bad, I will challenge the floor back. Whether the floor orang putih ke, the floor from anywhere, I don't care. That's what I did last time from UiTM Kuala Pilah. All right, Dr. Kavi's paper. That's what I did. Professor Grady Beans, I'll share later, from Strathclyde University. He challenged the English. I asked Dr. Kavi to challenge back. Challenge back. We are not wrong. Don't be afraid. Even if you're wrong, it's okay. Challenge back. You learn. All right. Don't have that inferior complex because we are from Malaysia and we don't know English. Doesn't matter. You can learn. All right. I was like you guys. Totally. Honestly. My speaking also very bad last time. Okay. So I can know what you guys feeling. All right. So don't worry. You can definitely do it. Okay. As long as you put the effort, you read a lot and you reverse engineer. You reverse engineer from other people's writing. That's very important. When you reverse engineer, you learn how to construct sentences. You cannot go back to basic English learning. You cannot go to IELTS class, basic English learning, all that useless. You cannot go and learn grammar. You cannot go and learn adjective, verb, adverb, what do you call that? All this comprehension thing, all that, it will never work for academic writing. Academic writing is purely experience. It's purely your feeling, how you're going to write, your style. You learn from others how they write, and then you will transform into your own style. You have to write more. Okay. All right. So let me thank you very much. No problem. It's my personal experience. How to gain confidence? I think it is okay to proceed our research in political communication object to expand the body of knowledge. Yes, yes, and I don't know how's that got. I'm not going to talk about that. All right. Got back experience. How you improvise grammar slowly. Read a lot. Read and reverse engineer from that. That's the fastest way for you. Okay. It took me almost 2 years. Okay. Let me tell you how much I improved. My first paper 18 review from my supervisor. My first conference, postgraduate conference, only 18 review. He literally almost threw me out of the building. He said, if you write English like this, you will never graduate PhD. Okay, because he is a person, he will never spend money, and I also had no money, to be honest, because I was surviving by doing part-time jobs, as I told yesterday. Okay, I really had no money. Then during my final paper, my final journal that I wrote, my 12th paper, I sent to him. He looked at it. He gave probably one or two comments, and then I just submitted. That is how much I improved my English within about 2 years. Okay, because I really read. I read 1,200 papers in my PhD journey. One to learn, another one to improve my English. Those are my two objectives. All right. So if you want to improve, you can definitely improve. You don't need any English class. You don't need. Okay. Because I never gone to, I don't know how English class can benefit me. I don't need. That's why I say you don't need Quillbot. Grammarly is okay because Grammarly helps lazy people like me. But Quillbot and so on is utter rubbish. Okay, it's just utter rubbish. It can never understand your context. All right. Even Tesla self-driving car got billions of data sets also. They still cannot drive properly on the road. Cannot. Still a lot of things are happening. And this one we're talking about academic research. Okay, so much of dynamics happening, so many thousand millions of words. No way. Don't use things like Quillbot. It's just defeating the whole purpose. It's a shortcut, bad shortcut. All right. Okay. Yes, reverse engineer is the best part. Reverse engineering. That's why I encourage paraphrasing. That's the fastest way to learn. Okay, now coming back to this. Once they agree with the paper sent to reviewers, then you'll either get accepted, rejected, or you send for minor or major revision. Now, on that note, okay, how many of you think a paper can be directly accepted? Direct. Tell me. How many of you think you in life that you can actually see a direct acceptance? Without any revision, without any comment, nothing, huh? Direct. Anyone think possible tak? Have you heard of it? Definitely possible, but the possibility, no, Dr. Hero's paper, I don't think any ISI got directly accepted. Everything went through revisions. I know his papers very well, okay? Because every time revision, I proofread his paper. The possibility, I've only seen 2 papers out of 21,000 documents that I worked on. The probability there is less than 0.0007%. But I've seen 2 papers. One from UiTM back in 2018. I forgot the doctor's name. I forgot which paper, but I know it's Elsevier Composite. ISI Q1, but I forgot the doctor's name. She came for my workshop. Next one recently happened was last year, which I'll share with you. Dr. Hidayat, very nice guy, very knowledgeable guy. My long-term client. I worked from his thesis. Sampai is his Q1 paper. He's a senior lecturer in UiTM now. This is the paper. Also ISI Q1. Very interesting paper. Fence deactivation for minimization of airborne pathogen transmission during Malaysian's congregational prayer gathering in mosque. This was during MCO time. This paper, ISI Q1, impact factor 5.683, accepted without any correction, directly. Surprisingly, after joining Dr. Tawa's workshop, how to publish in Q1 journal, this paper literally used my Q1 template, all right? And getting a service by proofreading by UK PhD proofing my paper, I managed to publish my journal in Web of Science ISA Q1 5.683 without any correction. This paper directly accepted by editor, the paper detail is below. So I'm going to share this paper with you, another good example for you to go through from our local heroes, all right? I like to see local guys publishing very good. I'm not so proud about my Caucasian clients and so on publishing because they are already matured. But when I see local guys publish, I really love it. I really like to see the spirit. Okay, that's why I always go and share their papers. I always share. One, of course, one form is our branding, but one more form is I like to see them growing because when they grow, our whole academic paradigm will grow. It's very important. Okay, same goes to you guys as well. So this is a very good paper. Go and have a look. See how is it even possible remotely to get a paper accepted without correction. I never had one, I'm being honest. Not even once. Mostly minor and major, usually. Okay? All right. So rejected is pretty normal. When you get rejected, don't immediately take the paper and then go and submit elsewhere. All right. What you can do when you get reviewer response, you can always, let's say the editor say, okay, paper rejected because 2 out of 3 reviewers rejected the paper and these are all the reviewers' comments. You can always negotiate with the editor. Can I address all the comments, resubmit back or not? Because I've waited for X amount of time. It's my passion to publish in this journal. I really want to have a paper in this journal. My paper is very strong. It'll give you very good citation, I can guarantee, because it's very current, the topic. Give me the opportunity to address all the comments comprehensively and give me the opportunity to send the papers back to the same reviewers. You want to go back to the known devil. You don't want to go back to the unknown ghost. Better go back to the known devil. All right? Okay? So you can also try out. And then, if you have revision, make sure you do the revision very carefully. Minor ke, major ke, do very carefully. Do reviewer response document separately. Make sure you put the page number, say thank you to the reviewers, write down all the comments, your response, highlight in the paper, all that you must do. Must be very careful. Okay? Now let's look at what to do since few journalists reject saying that the paper not suitable. Yes, that's right. So that means, Suhaida, your paper is either language is poor, abstract not well written, content not strong, not novel enough. This could be some of the few reasons lah. Fantasy versus reality. It is very difficult to propose this topic that are seen as threatening to system leadership, politicians, tourists, article, media, virtually, but integrity. I think this topic, I think we have to take it a bit offline. Okay, all right. You can always discuss with me, but let's take that offline. All right. Okay, this is what I call reverse engineering. If you want to know how I improve my English, this is how I improve. This is not plagiarism. This is not plagiarism. Same thing I explained yesterday. Not plagiarism. All right. This is literally China way of doing things. Okay, not bad. They are number one now. All right. Uh, okay, they are number one now. Even US is scared of them. That's why they put in a lot of sanctions on them. Reverse engineering, if it works or not, look at me. I'm the best example that is. Okay, I'm a normal kampong boy from Seremban. Okay, but if I can write English to this level without going to private schools, without going to private lessons, without going to Cambridge or Oxford, is because of this technique. Okay, this is the secret to speed writing. When you read something, you like that content very much related to what you want to do, read every line, see how they construct sentences, try to mimic. Okay, try to mimic like babies lah. Babies always look at you and mimic, and then they become better than you. Same story, same theory. All right. Then you take that particular information, you copy it. All right. Don't paste it as it is. Rewrite to your own understanding. Put in your own information, but follow the process flow. Line by line, it takes time, but eventually it will make you a superhero. Trust me, it will work. Okay, but of course, everything you have to invest time and do. If you don't do, you cannot. If you want to write properly, follow. Reverse engineer. Okay? And this one I explained yesterday. Please don't trust Quillbot. Eventually, if you get to the right reviewers, the right examiners, your writing will be dead. Okay? Then only they'll trace out total change of context, back structure, grammar. So you better do it yourself. Okay, I don't repeat this again. Better do it yourself. Don't trust software. People selling you for 100 ringgit, Shopee you can get for 2, 3 ringgit. You think this is a good software? They are that open, their security is that bad. Okay, people from Malaysia don't even have a company can become authorized distributor. You think that is a good software to buy? To trust with your thesis and paper, your whole hard work, think about it. All right, don't put through lousy software. Okay, just be careful of that. All right. Okay, I already explained what is impact factor. I already explained what is quartile, Q1 to Q4. Yeah, I think the organizer will provide the recording, but I don't know when they'll provide, but I'm pretty sure they'll definitely provide. Okay, Jasmine? Scopus, ISI. Okay, now let me explain. Web of Science dengan ABDC, they are Ferrari. Okay, Web of Science ISI covers all topics. This one mostly economics, accounting, business, finance, management, those kind of things. ABDC, Australian Business Deans Council. All right. They categorize as A star, A journal, macam tu lah. Their standing is a bit different. Okay, but they are both Ferraris or BMWs. Scopus is more of Toyota Honda. Okay, the standard that I can talk about lah. Era is more of Proton Perodua. Okay, not undermining Proton Perodua. I like Perodua myself, but I have a Perodua as well. But that is the standard lah. But if you ask me, if possible, moving forward, don't try to aim for Era. All of you, for the sake of publishing, try to retire Era altogether. This is something I encourage UiTM all the time. Not only UiTM, most of the universities, but most of the universities, I think some of it already they don't recognize Era already. So if you can start focusing here, sorry, not slash, start focusing here, and then you will eventually work your way here. All right. Yes, you can do that, Nadia. You do that. So this is my paper. Let me show you my paper. My recent paper, concept paper. Let me open it. This is Scopus Q1. ESCI, belum ISI. Okay, Scopus Q1 because I'm lazy to go through ISI. It takes so long. All right, and very expensive if you go open access. This one is like 800 USD. Last time I published MDPI sustainability back in 2 years ago, there was 1,800 Swiss currency. I forgot the currency, Swiss currency. 1,800. This is about 900 to 800 USD. So it's half the price. I'm not really bothered about ISI or not, as long as it's Q1, even in Scopus. Okay. So this is Journal of Open Innovation, Technology, Market, and Complexity. There is no empirical data. Yes, Frank. Thanks, Dr. Frank, Swiss Frank. There is no data, no empirical, nothing. It's a review paper, open innovation of institutional investors and higher education system in creating open approach for SDG for quality education, a conceptual review. It's a conceptual paper based on scoping review method. Some of you might think, your background is engineering, doctor, what are you doing here? I do a lot of things. Okay, I even had 2 papers in Islamic finance with USIM lecturers. I worked on that also. Then this is on education. I have 1 paper on information systems. Then I have 2 or 3 papers on e-commerce under review now. If you know research, you can work in any fields you want. Okay, if you know research, because easy for you to comprehend, you can understand the background. Okay, easy. Okay, I can design a whole theoretical and conceptual framework, although my background is engineering. Okay, I know how to merge all of them. I learned. Okay, I learned. So this is one other example. So here, this paper was submitted 25th January 2022, accepted by 1st March. So that is exactly 35 days. But this is not the case for everyone. All right. MDPI rejected my paper more than it accepted my paper. All right, I'm being honest. They are very good at rejecting. They are quite strict nowadays. So your paper must be really strong. Dr. Tao, how to waive APC if we don't have enough fund? No way you can waive. I don't think MDPI will waive for you. You need to find a way. Normally, my method, usually we will share. See, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? I always become last because I'm not an academician. I don't really care. As long as I get papers. Okay, this is my passion. So I'm not really, I don't have KPI. I set my own KPI, thankfully. So I'm not really bothered. So I always ask them to put my name last. So they are all academicians. I let them be first, second, third, fourth, and so on. All right. So if you scroll down, what was the question? Wave, you cannot wave. No way. I don't think so. What difference between proceeding journal or journal publication? Proceeding journal is just the journal name. It is also a journal, but proceedings itself usually is conferences. All right. So if you scroll down, the way that we write paper, okay, you can see it's not just word. The moment we come to a part, we will start exploding with diagrams, a lot of diagrams. You see the way we do diagrams and graphs? This is just the review paper. Still, we do all this. All right, you can see here, we do bibliographic coupling, and then we do 2 different matrices. Okay, one matrix, second matrix, and then we have 1 conceptual framework. We have 1 more conceptual framework here. Okay, and then we have a very lengthy discussion because the discussion is very important in review paper. All right. Very, very important. And then why I open this, very importantly, if you see here, this Journal of Open Innovation, right? You see how many paper we cited. One, open innovation. One more, 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 open innovation. So we actually cite a lot from the journal itself. Okay, it's a, I don't know whether it works out or not, but do it lah, who cares? All right. So if you need that link, oh, thanks, Dr. Siti. Thanks for sharing. Okay, so you can join in and download the paper. I already tagged down here. I got tagged already. Down here. Here's my concept paper. You can download. All right. No problem. Thank you. Let's go next. Okay, where do you go and publish? This one is still I explained already. These are open access where you need to pay a lot of money. Share among your co-authors and authors. If your supervisor got grant, nice enough to pay for it, fantastic. Okay, doesn't happen all the time, but depending on how you brainwash lah. Okay, next thing, these are all free. Free means you have to work where you not very hard. This one is very hard, but you have to work longer. Okay, this one you have to work longer. So plan early. If you have lesser funding, financial trouble, better plan early. Because these things, the money you're going to spend here, you can put down payment for a Honda City already. All right, you can. Unless you don't want to go for holiday that year, you don't want to buy a new car, then you can go for this. Or if you have a big group who can share the cost lah. Okay, how to find the journal? Easiest way is this. This is the easiest way. Elsevier Journal Finder, Taylor Francis Journal Finder, Wiley, Springer, and so on. These are the links I'm going to share with you very quickly. One moment. Okay, there you go. Okay, so these are the links for Journal Finder. The Scopus proceeding has lower weightage as compared to Scopus Journal, depending on the proceeding. If you say proceeding, you mean is it a conference? If it is a conference, then definitely very, very low weightage. There is no weightage at all for conference. Okay, I don't consider conference as publication at all, unless it's low acceptance rate conference. That means out of 3,000 papers, only 500, 600 will be accepted. Those are best conferences to go for, because you get to see a lot of good people. You get to even look for job also, right? Now, technique number 2, how to look for journal: backward snowballing, forward snowballing. All right, these are two important methods for you to go and look for journals where you can publish. Where can I go and submit my paper? Okay, very simple. You open my paper again. You look at this, right? Sorry, not this. Where's my paper, Daddy? Not this. Okay. Oh, it's here. Okay, all right. So if you look at this, if you read this paper, you see this is Journal Open Innovation, Technology, Market and Complexity. So you are working in education system, example, SDG4, it's fine, all right? So what you can do, you don't want to submit here, okay? You find it very expensive. I don't want open access, I want free. So what you can do, you can scroll down, this is called backward snowballing. You go down, you try to look for journals here. Like this one all same, this one cannot, open innovation, all forget open innovation. You further scroll down, you look at this one also same, cannot, okay, here go one. Education science, this one may be possible, okay, you go and go look for it. Then you can go and look at Journal of Cleaner Production, okay, this is free, definitely. Then you can look at processes, okay, I don't know this one, I think this one is paid, I think this one is MDPI. Cogent Business also paid, $1,200. We recently got a client published here. Sustainability also paid. If you can pay, then okay. Business strategy, environment. So all these journals, potentially you can publish, because if you're reading this topic, that means your topic is similar. If the citation, if the paper is being cited, that means it should be a similar topic. That means it's a potential journal you can publish as well. This is called reverse snowballing. Okay, all right. Now, we go forward snowballing. Okay, forward snowballing. Under forward snowballing, you now go to the future. This is back in time, right? Papers that you cited. Now you go to the future. When you go to the future, this paper, very simple, very quick one, I show you. You take this topic, you go Google Scholar. Okay, you go Google Scholar right there. You type the topic out. Okay, from this one, okay, you know this is the paper, right? See here, cited by 2. This is forward snowballing. You want to see where the new citations are. Click that. Again, Journal of Open Innovation. Both also Journal of Open Innovation. So, very little choices lah. But if you go for a bit older, this is a new paper. If you go for a bit older papers, then you will get more forward snowballings. All right? Okay? So that is how you can find suitable journal for you to publish. This is the fastest way and the most effective way to find. Okay, types of journal papers. Before we go to that, let's see. Ruzana, would our published paper be considered self-plagiarism? No, I included. I have a PhD, so don't worry. I included 12 papers into my thesis and I graduated. So nothing is wrong. But you need to paraphrase. You definitely need to paraphrase. It is your own work which you did part of your PhD. So if it is not in the thesis, then what is going to be in the thesis? Think about it that way. Okay. No problem, Najla. Noor Ain, is it okay to publish journal in MJFAS, Malaysian Journal of Fundamental Applied Science? As long as it's Scopus and you want Scopus, if it's good, then you publish. As far as I know, in Malaysia, most of the journals are owned by universities and none of them are scam journals. That way, we are very clean. So far, I never heard any bad news. It is journals from usual developing, very, very backward countries are the ones who have this kind of issue. I don't want to name names, are not very nice to name names, but usually that, because recently came out statistics where most of the dubious bills list, okay, dubious predatory journals are coming from. Number one was India, if I'm not mistaken. So you have to look at those countries. Okay. Next thing, do we have number of references at least for high impact journal? Lesser is good or vice versa? Totally depends on your research. There is no good and bad. You cannot cite 100 references for a normal empirical paper and you cannot just cite 10 papers for a good review paper. So there must be a check and balance. Look at previous papers, how much they have done. Follow almost the same. Okay. So types of journal papers, you have original research, communication letters. Let's forget all these. Not forget. These are the papers you can write. Original research, empirical paper. Then you have short letters. Then you have review articles, and then you have case studies. Okay, this one mostly for medical and law, not for any other areas. These three you can explore. Okay, review styles, review papers. What do we have? We have systematic review. Okay, if you think systematic review is tough, I've already summarized systematic review. Next class is systematic review, but it's going to be sometime. I think next class is UiTM. Let me check. We are in June now, so July, I think it's August. UiTM, yeah, 29 August. 29 August systematic review. Okay. Bella, on your own, Bella, no any other ways, okay? Unless you hire someone, like we do paraphrasing, but I wouldn't encourage you that. If you want, we can definitely do. We do a lot, especially for self-plagiarism cases, for journal extraction cases, and so on. Repository cases, a lot of repository cases, massively stuck in repository, cannot get out. No choice, have to paraphrase. But if cost is a factor, I would advise you to do it on your own, definitely, all right? Don't rely on software. Don't. Please say no to Quillbot. It's a very horrible software. I've seen a lot of failure cases. Like I'm not against software. I encourage you to use Grammarly. Surface, fantastic. If you're a lazy person like me, Grammarly is good at the surface, not deep. It can never go deep. It can never improve your core English. Okay, your core structure, your core content. But surface, comma, full stop, and and so on, very good. Very good. All right. So, okay, systematic review. I have another source for you. I've already simplified the entire Prisma on TikTok. Okay. I didn't do any recent video on TikTok. This is okay. This one recent. This one and on here. This is the recent one I did. Google Scholar search. How to effectively search literature in Google Scholar. Okay. So this is a very good design, very good class. And then here I have one. This is the video. 12 steps of systematic literature review. I've already summarized systematic review into very simple 12 steps. You don't need to go and look at Prisma anymore. You just go through this video, you just follow my steps, you follow the process, it's good enough. Okay, so in case if you want to follow me on TikTok and watch the videos, there are few key important videos here. You can have a look. This is the link. Okay, I've shared the link already. Good luck to you guys. Now, let's look at Lydia. In your opinion, what type of review paper is for suitable? Engineering, we have a lot of systematic review. A lot. Okay. No, Jacob. No, I don't have Twitter. I have, but I'm not active. I actually don't even know how to use Twitter that well. All right. Okay, so that is that. So I also have YouTube channel. You can check out YouTube channel if you want to. Okay, now going back to systematic review, I already shown you 12 easy steps. Okay, systematic review is very good because it follows specific guideline. But in the next class coming, I will share with you Prisma. I will also share with you Roses. It's another, not Rose lah. I'm not going to give you Rose. I'm going to follow Rose's methodology, okay, for systematic review. It's very good. That will be shared on 29th of August. Make sure you guys come. Then we are going to look at quantitative. Okay, meta-analysis is another method. Just add on. Okay, this is like McDonald's combo lah. Okay, this extra combo. Very tough combo. Very tough. Meta-analysis is very complex. Nur Ain, you just have to register yourself. You speak to the organizer, register yourself. I think they'll announce. Okay, they'll announce. So meta-analysis, and then you have Cochrane review, and then you have scoping review. Scoping review is the paper I shared with you. That is called scoping review. The difference between systematic and scoping review, I will explain in the next class because that itself is a class. But these are all the guidelines for you to follow. Narrative review, critical review, conceptual review, state-of-the-art review. Okay, these these 4 reviews all follow narrative review. No guideline, you see, no guideline. That is why they are not well received. That is why your conceptual paper is very hard to be published if you follow narrative review. Q3, Q4 can. To go beyond that, Q1 or ISI, then you have to follow my style, scoping review or SLR review. Okay, so that is that. Now, for you to learn better on what is narrative review, you can follow this paper, Rosella Ferrari, you can download online free. Writing Narrative Style Literature Review by Rosella Ferrari, very good paper for you to understand. If you want to learn what is scoping review, okay, a scoping review or scoping reviews, advancing the approach and enhancing the consistency. Okay, this is very good scoping review. All right. Scoping review versus systematic review. Oh, actually, I have a class also. If you want to go and watch, what is the difference? This Dr. Tawa keep telling scoping review, scoping review, scoping review. What is scoping review? Okay. Go to my Facebook page again. Go to videos. See all. Go to scope there, here, this class. Systematic versus scoping review. The class is here. All right, you can go and watch. It is very important for you to understand because scoping review gives you a better access to all literature and it's a bit more easier to write than systematic review. Not easier to write, easier to do literature review. Then for systematic review, you can read this paper, but you don't need this paper anymore. Just follow my TikTok video. I already summarize it in a much easier way. Just follow 12 steps. All right, what to have in a review paper structure? Okay, these are the listed items you must have in a review paper. You got number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6. Okay, out of these 6 items, 1 and 2, compulsory, must have. Okay, I put that C. These are all optional. These items are optional, so I'm going to put that O. All right, so compulsory item, review paper must resolve ambiguities. Must. Provide a comprehensive overview on the current state of knowledge. Okay, current state of knowledge. Just give me one moment. I'll drink water quickly. Okay, let's continue. All right. So resolve ambiguities means there is something that you want to resolve. So you must always include a method to resolve ambiguities. Then provide a comprehensive overview on the current state of knowledge. These two are compulsory. Okay, without these two, you cannot start the review paper. Now, the rest, identify inconsistencies in prior results, or evaluate methodologies, or develop a conceptual framework as a solution, or describe roadmap existing gaps. Okay, now what are these for? You can choose 1, 2, and 3, or 1, 2, and 4, or 1, 2, and 5, or 1, 2, and 6, or you can choose 1, 2, 3 inconsistencies and 5. Okay, so you can do 1, 2, 3, and 5. Or you can do 1, 2, 3, and what is this? 6 and 6. Describe roadmap existing gaps. So you can do 1, 2, 3, and 6. Or you can do 1, 2, 4. Or you can do 1, 2, 5. So there are many combinations. But 1, 2 is very important. And then you can choose and add which one you want to add. as part of your review paper structure. What is your plan? This is how you plan. All right. Okay, now this is the reality. Okay, reality check. Even if there is idea, I still can't write. Okay, I don't know why. I still can't write. Why? What is the biggest problem? That is the biggest problem. Okay, this is the reality. This is the check and balance. This is the reality. Things I should do, things I would like to do, but eventually that doesn't happen. Things I do when I'm procrastinating is only that, while this is left out. How many of you are facing this problem? Is this true or not? Because I'm going to give you some solution. I also shared this last year, I think, but I'm going to share this again. Are you guys facing this problem? Be honest to yourself. Come back to chat box, let me know. So I can give you two simple solutions what to do. Okay, thanks for being very honest. I like that. Very good. So, I used to have the same problem actually. 10 years ago when I was doing PhD, very little distraction, very little. WhatsApp was very new. Okay, my supervisor forced me to install WhatsApp. At that point of time, WhatsApp app you need to pay. That time, yes, 2010, WhatsApp web app in UK you must pay. So I paid. I didn't want to pay. I told him why I need to pay. He said, you better install. I want you to use it. Right? So I installed. But that point of time, I was not active on Facebook. No Instagram. Instagram was nothing. I was not into snapping photos. So very little distraction. The only distraction I have is probably movies. But now, crazy. You got TikTok, you got people dancing every day in front of you, then you got Insta Reels, people dancing again, then you got all these comedies going on, you got YouTube going on, a lot of things that is going on, movies, Netflix, everything is just there. So distraction is, I think, increased by 500,000% already nowadays. So how to overcome this problem? What can we do? Okay, the first step to solve this problem, all 300 of you, you can choose to pack your phone today, put into a post box. I provide free storage. You can post all your phones to me, your phones, your device, everything you can post to me. I'll store it until you finish your whatever you want to finish lah. Okay, free storage. That is one solution you can do. You can post it to me. Right? I'm just kidding. I don't want that. But what you can do is you can lock away your device. Like today, you're giving fantastic focus to me. I'm pretty sure you're not together with the bills. Okay, that one maybe not lah. All right, that one maybe not Asia. Okay. What you can do is lock it away. Device you really need to lock away. It's worse than cocaine. I'm telling you, it's worse than drugs. This device, the amount of distraction it gives you, my goodness, sometimes when I'm sitting with my daughter, I even realize that why am I on the phone? And I just put it away. Okay? Thanks, Ju. I just put it away. All right. So even with kids and so on. So for those having kids, I think you really need to put your phone away. That's very poor. Okay. Sometimes I feel very bad for doing that. But it's a distraction. Is that bloody thing is on your hand. Okay, and it gives you so much information that you just want to read or you just want to see people dancing. All right. So when you're working, when you're studying for that limited time, you need to lock it away. You can invest in a lock box, very cheap one, 200-300 ringgit you can buy. Make sure you don't know the passcode, just go there, put in, lock tank, just go. Make sure only your spouse, your partner, your kid knows the locker number. Don't open, lock yourself. Okay, you'll feel like something is gone for a few hours. It'll take you about 1 week or 2 weeks for you to get away from the despair. All right, you can give it a try. And second thing, you will tell me, hey, I already locked my phone away. I still got my laptop. I still got internet connection. Nah, 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 nah. That also got a solution. What you must do, go and download all the papers very quickly before you sit down to start working, before you get distracted. Download all the papers very quickly. You already have a plan what to do today, right? Go to Wi-Fi, click forget password. No, forget network. Once you click that, you need to re-enter the password to join the network. So that is one way to block yourself lah. Okay, so this is the way to lock your mentality for short time. Once you get used to it, you'll be fine. Okay, all right. So that is the best way lah. All right. So let's look at this. How I feel exposed. Thank you, Joe. It's still vibration. Off the vibration lah. Dr. Asia, just you have to off the vibration. Okay, Dr. Ahmad, yes, that's something you can do. Shut down myself moment to do proposal. I managed to complete in a day. There you go. Okay, see one good example. Yeah, I had to shut off the lights so people won't know I'm inside the office. Okay, that is another good way. things I would like to do. I have my own area topic to explore. You must always have your own office. This is something important. Don't say I'm working on dining table. I tell my wife all the time. My wife just finished her pediatric specialization. Finally, she's done after 4 years. Their study is very long, medical. Their master's is like 4 years, 5 years, and so on. So she'll be sitting on dining table, this, that. I'll tell her, go sit on your own space. Work that. Why are you sitting everywhere? You must have your own space. Make sure people don't come there to distract you, even your own kids. So lock them out. Otherwise, they'll go, mama, 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 papa, papa, papa. My daughter always say, okay, you have to keep them out so that you can focus. All right. You really need your territory. That's a very good thing to say. And you need your phone to be out of the focus. And you really need your device to be disconnected from Wi-Fi. And then you can work. WhatsApp web is a thing you should never turn on when you're working. WhatsApp web, no way. All right, okay. So, and one other thing very important, Stockman, Juliana, you have to control that. You have to really control. But you wrote 11 papers, so I think you're still okay. You're not that addicted. Okay, so I think it's okay. So yeah, these are the things, so you guys can see. But Dr. Tawa's Telegram group, always leave it open, no problem. Okay, I'm just kidding. All right, so that's what you guys need to do to boost up your writing. You need to overcome this alarming problem. If you don't overcome this alarming problem, you're wasting a lot of time, a lot of good time that you can actually push and be very productive. All right. So try to focus on being productive after this. That's very, very important. The rest will follow. Okay. If I can improve my English coming from a normal kampong, I literally live in a kampong kind of place. The only reason is because I read a lot. I spent 16, 18 hours a day to put that effort to read and understand and improve and understand and improve. And then end of the day, within 2 years, I could see the result. And I'm using that result as part of my journey now. All right. So if I was distracted by TikTok, people dancing, and then YouTube, and then Instagram Reel, Instagram Story, Facebook, WhatsApp Web, Lazada, Shopee, Netflix, Disney Plus, all these things, my goodness, for sure, it'll took me 10 years to finish PhD, for sure. Okay, I can write and sign and give you, it would have taken me 10 years to finish PhD. My father would have disowned me, confirm. All right. So you really need to take them out of the equation. Cooking for family, taking care of kids, that one you cannot do anything. That one I'm not going to go against it. That is part of your life. All right. Miss Ruzana, yes, I do. Yeah, definitely we do. Okay. About that, we'll discuss later. I'll definitely let you know how to get those information. But meanwhile, if you need information, you can WhatsApp me. Okay. This is my WhatsApp link. Okay. All right. Yes, no sitting in living room while writing, no dining, no living room, no, get your own space. Go to IKEA, buy your own table, isolate yourself, get your own room, or put a partition and block yourself. You need somewhere to lock yourself. Total isolation, no disturbance, no sound, no anything. Okay, if possible, no Wi-Fi connection also. All right, can you give an effective student that study and work at the same time, means how to divide their time? Okay, depending whether you are a morning person or a night person. I'm deviating a lot from the topic, but that's okay. Morning person or night person. If you're a morning person, wake up early before everyone, work in the morning. Lunchtime, take half an hour nap to recover that tiredness. I do that. Okay, I do that. Lunchtime, usually after lunchtime, I'll sleep about 30 minutes to keep my mind going. If you're a night person, I work late night. Okay, I work late night. So I get up late and then I take break during lunchtime. If you're a night person, wait until everyone goes to sleep, especially kids to go to sleep, because when kids are around, no way you can work, not in this lifetime. So let them go to sleep first, and then set the time, night, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, work until then, late night, and then, of course, you got lesser time to sleep, kan? So what you can do, you can recover that during lunchtime. Okay, as I told you, life will be crazy. It is part of the journey. Okay, you are going to be crazy, deprived of sleep, depression. I had what is his name? The registrar, not registrar. Now he's the director of marketing at UCM. He was the former deputy registrar. Forgot his name. My very good friend at UCM. He literally got heart attack because of PhD. So we shouldn't go to that level. He worked very hard. He pushed too hard. So take care of your health also. Be careful. Okay, be very, very careful. Miss Nadia, yeah, definitely Bahasa. We are the official provider for UCM and UKM as well. So definitely Bahasa. Bahasa is definitely within our purview. Okay, so those are the two things you guys can do. Now let's go next. Okay, how to tackle chief editor's comments on language. Okay, this is what I shared earlier. This one I need to share with you. So this editor from Wiley, Polymer Engineering and Science, okay, shared this problem that the way that we have proofread, paraphrase and so on is not very effective. So he said the way that we wrote, he didn't agree. Okay, orang putih So then Dr. Kavi from UiTM Kuala Lumpur, this was his paper in 2020. All right, this is the paper lah that published now. Optimization of waste coil eggshells as biocomposites for polyaniline ammonia gas detection. So he came to me also a bit alarmed lah because he likes all the reviewer response. He said good to go, but need to rewrite the English. So he showed some example. He showed like, remove the structural part among 3 oxidation states compared to 2 other candidates, all these added transition points of, phrases. When you go from one phrase to the next phrase, you give transition point, right? So there's a flow, because I like to write like story-like. I don't like to have like report style, writing style. Most editors don't like that. They want it to be like story because then people can understand. But this guy is on the opposite side. This guy wants it to be report style. That means full stop, full stop, full stop, full stop, full stop. It's like one line, full stop, one line, full stop, one line, full stop. That's how he wants it. I don't want that, all right? Because this is not wrong. There's no grammatical problem except for this. Even this is not grammatical problem. This is just wrong style of writing. I used it instead of referring to the actual subject, which is not wrong, but not a good practice. So that was my mistake. But the rest, not a mistake. Okay? So he wants us to rewrite the whole paper with report style. So I told Dr. Kavi, if you're going to do that, then we have to redo the whole thing. And how if we redo the whole thing, he doesn't like the end result, because I won't like the end result. It will be very bad, very poor. As a proofreader, I'm against it. So I told him, why don't we write a letter to the editor? We explain to him why we did what we did. Okay, why we did this, all right? Because it's part of structuring process. And that's what he replied. This one I censored last time before the acceptance. Now already accepted, I'm not already bothered. Is Professor Grady Beans. Okay, the word it should be avoided because one does not know what the word it refers to, which I agree. It should be the subject. So that one we corrected. Next, he explained the other 2 cases are, I would agree, a trade-off. I always eliminate phrases that are not necessary because I believe less words always better, which I agree. But most editors don't agree. That's why we come up with a structural part to create a story flow. However, I do agree that sometimes fluency, I think the word transition is more what you mean. You don't want to jump around from one thought to another. Means words are added that don't provide meaning. I will defer to your judgment on that issue. It is your paper after all. And the paper was accepted, published. So like I told you, okay, yes, Dr. Asia, you're right. Doesn't grow up with Disney. So don't think that they are always right. Doesn't work that way. So always communicate with the proofreader. Don't get alarmed, don't get panicked. Okay, even with me, you can always come back to my guys. You can drop us an email if you think that we are wrong. We will explain. If you are wrong, we'll resolve it. No problem. Mistake happens. We are humans anyway. But in this case, we are not wrong. Okay, being Malaysian, being English not our first language doesn't mean we don't know. Okay, we do know. You guys can know as well. With good practice over time, you guys will know exactly what needs to be done. So don't get carried away just because someone with native English are telling us that we are wrong. So what? Doesn't mean we are wrong. This is the best example of that. Okay? That is true, Dr. Asia. So language is very subjective of how you write. It's opinion based. There is no factual base unless grammatically it's wrong. Then yes. Okay, so always learn to say no when you think you are right, but be absolutely sure. Okay, let's go to criteria for high impact paper writing. Now we are going to abstract. Okay, yesterday I shown the thesis abstract. Okay, now we are going into journal abstract. Okay, thesis abstract yesterday was 7 steps. This one is only 5 steps. All right, straight to the point. What you are doing, how you are doing it, what was the outcome, why the outcome, conclude by amplifying your achievement. All right, so this is color coded. I've already done. I'm not going to go through this because I have separate classes for this. I'm going to share this with you as well. So this is the red color, this is the blue color, this is the orange color, this is the yellow, cyan yellow or cyan blue or light blue lah. And then this is the black color. Never write abstract without achievement. This is something my supervisor taught me. This is how you sell your whatever you write. At the end of your abstract, you must tell what you have achieved. Okay, this is a good way of writing what you have achieved in social science. Engineering, normally you come up with parameters, numbers. Okay, so this is the achievement part. In case if you guys don't understand, no problem. Like what Dr. Asia said, colorblind. Kalau really we have that impairment, no problem. You can go back to my playlist here. Type abstract. Hopefully you can find it now. Okay, so that is abstract. The class is right here. All right, you can watch this in case if you want to learn more. All right, I have this I think it's only 30-40 minutes of class for you to go through lah. Okay, all right. So next thing, this one I already explained yesterday, so I don't want to go through this again. But in case if you want to learn more on this, you can watch these two videos. Why am I sharing the same slide? Because the process is the same. Writing chapter 1 for your thesis and writing introduction and problem statement for your paper has the same flow, just that one is long and one is short. So remove whatever unnecessary or extra information, copy and paste directly. Yes, that's all you need to do. But don't have separate section as problem lah, because paper is more subtle. You write your introduction, your background, your statistics and so on, your introduction, your literature, and then your problem will just come into that. It will be very seamless. You won't put a separate section called problem statement. No, in paper it's very seamless. When experts read the paper, they will know this is background, this is introduction, this is problem statement. This is the solution. And organization of your paper. What is section 1, section 2, section 3, and so on. It's very subtle. Okay, all right. But in case if you're wondering for the background and so on, people who never attended yesterday, when you write background, when you require statistical information, you just go and search here. I have template for that, statistics. Okay, so where is that? Where is that? Okay, here you go. Statistical information. This one very important for papers. Very, very, very important. More important than thesis. In papers, must have statistical information. If you don't know where to go and get statistical information, these are the links. Okay, these are the links. Vodo, World in Data, OECD, Department of Statistics, Statista, Data Bank, European Data Portal, UN Data, WHO, Accenture, McKinsey. So these are all the links for you to go through, and this is the PDF file. Here you cannot click because it's image. So I give the PDF file here. Okay, so I type stats. Sorry, wrong spelling, but doesn't matter. Okay, so you can download it from here. Very important, must have this in your paper. If you miss out on the Telegram link again, there you go. All right. So make sure you make use of that. Then what else am I missing? Literature review database I shared yesterday. If you guys need the literature review database template, do let me know in the chat box. I'll show you again. If you already know, then I don't need to show you. It's up to you guys. If you want, do mention in the chat box. If you need literature review database information, I'll let you know. Qualitative workshop. Qualitative I got, but very short classes. Again, go back to the playlist here. Just click Control F, Quali. So got quanti versus quali research design. Then got qualitative research and saturation. Then got approaches to qualitative analysis. 3 approaches to qualitative analysis. Okay, so you can go and watch these videos. Literature matrix, I already explained yesterday. For those who want to do literature matrix, yes, Dr. Asia, just browse Mr. Shopee, Lazada. Your guys are very good at browsing, kan? Just browse only, no problem. Cover letter, I'm going to share end of the class today. Don't worry about it, all right? Okay, now coming to literature review summary. Okay, very important for very important for your literature matrix. Okay, literature summary. I shared this yesterday also. Open this. When you read a paper, use this fellow here. I developed this. Okay, you don't need to paste the paper. I just put that for the sake of information. Okay, you can summarize into a title, author's introduction, theory, variables or solution, methodology, analysis, findings, potential gap, and these are all the info. This is how you summarize lah. This is how you summarize. Okay, and what you do after summarizing, let's say you already summarized like 50 papers, 60 papers, then you take all those information, you paste. Okay, you paste it this way. You paste it this way, paste it this way, paste, you'll get a literature matrix already. Okay, just that you have to put the effort to do that. Once you get that from the research gap over here, you can find out already what is going wrong. You can see, okay, this is what happening. Then you'll have a better idea. All right. So even that also I'll share with you guys right here. Let me just tag it. Summary sheet. All right. You can go and download here. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Okay. Reading critically and creatively. Okay. I'm not going to go through all this. We're running out of time, but let me go through this important set of questions right here. All right. Critical reading can include asking, how do you critically read? Is this paper worth at all for you to read? What problem this author is trying to solve? Is it the right problem? Are there much simpler solution? What are the limitations of the solution? These are the important questions you should ask yourself when you're doing literature review. Followed by, were the assumptions reasonable? Can you discredit the work and create a new gap? Is the methodology rigorous? Let's say if that don't have any of this, there is no any new gap. This paper is perfect, doctor. No gap. Happens. I've seen before. Then you can read creatively. The ideas in the paper have other applications or extensions. Any other things you can do? Can it be developed further? Are there improvements that might make important difference? What would you do next from the author left? Okay, so these are creative way of reading a paper. No more critical only. Okay, so this I already explained yesterday, but before that, let me just answer Noor Ain. Do you have tips on how to write excellent discussion? Actually, I had. But I haven't fully finished it. I didn't have the time. But if you go to my group, Effective Academic Writing, search here, discussion. There. Okay. I did this back in February. Chapter 5, thesis discussion template, how to start discussion section, writing discussion, blah, 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 blah. So I already did the first part, how to start. But I forgot to continue after that. Okay, but anyway, you can join the group and you can also have a look at this. All right, okay. So this is I already put here the remark. What you need to do with example. Okay. All right. So here, very simple. When you have result, make sure you have interpretations. Even if it's quantitative table, you can always highlight key numbers, or qualitative excerpts, you can highlight key items to explain when you're writing results and discussion. Any questions so far? Are you guys all following? Am I going too fast? I'm sorry. We went a lot of off topic, but important things to discuss, but we also have to finish this. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Don't worry about it. Conclusion is all about highlight the contributions, highlight the impacts. This is your finishing part. Okay, you finish, you slice it off. Don't go and introduce new items, new citation, new things. No. Conclusion, make it short, compact, short. Don't make it too long. Don't write future work in the paper unless the editor asks you to write, but don't write. Okay, tell them there are sensitive information going on. You know why? Because you don't want to give out the idea for free. Don't do that. Okay, all right. If is anyone's line breaking as well, or is it my mic? Okay, everyone else okay? Can hear me? Okay, all right, very good. Okay, Dr. Asia, I think it should be okay now. See, I was nice enough to say I would minimize future work, but honestly, don't write future work. Why you want to write? Keep it for yourself. Okay, people in China and other countries, I don't want to mention, but China for sure. I've gone through that also. They can write paper in few days. Okay, you just have to give them idea only. They go, pop, data is out, paper is out. Don't write future work. Okay, question to Dr. Tawa. Do you think it is a rip-off if the editor of the publishing house make it a compulsory step to only use a proofreader? Okay, that is Dr. Ifa scam journals. Confirm scam journals. Horizon is one of it. Is it Horizon? Horizon. I think it's Horizon. I've heard of Horizon before. And I also heard a few others. But if you go to good ones, Elsevier, Emerald, apa nak kata, Sage, PLOS, all this one, the good ones, they will never do that. They'll suggest you can use Editouch, you can use AJE, American Journal Expert. But if you look at their pricing, it is crazy. They charge, in page count, they charge anything from 80 ringgit to 150 ringgit a page. That's their rate. Okay, we start at 14 to 41, the whole range lah. They start at 80 to 250 a page, roughly, if you look at page count, because we go 250 words per page. Okay, so if any journal tells you to use only their proofreader, they don't have that right, that means they are scam. Very soon they're going to get kicked out. So be very careful. Don't do that. Leave that journal. Yeah, like I said, Dr. Ifa, don't. It's a complete rip-off. Can you please mention the journal name so that others can know not to go for it? It's very important that you share. Please do, Dr. Ifa. Okay, so Dr. Ifa done. Nur Ain, how you write article and thesis at the same time? How you divide your time? I think I'll come to that very quickly. Okay. When we convert this journal, how do we do finding? Everything needs paraphrasing, Bharati. Everything is paraphrasing. Between contribution and impact. Contribution is what you do newly, and from that new, what is the outcome? That is the contribution. That is the impact. Okay. All right. So now potential extraction of journal. So I'm going to skip all this. This I'm going to skip. I'm going to skip because I'm going to explain everything to you from this diagram. So you ask me, right, the question, how to extract journal while you're writing thesis. Okay. So I explained yesterday, finish step 1. This is my diagram of thesis, thesis development journey. All right, from yesterday. My blueprint, this is my blueprint. Step 1, write 10 pages. Step 2, write full proposal. We consult on every step. We can coach and consult on every steps that are appearing here. That's why I include that. Once you finish your full proposal, chapter 1 to 3, about 60 to 80 pages, you do your proofreading. After your proofreading, you can start the extraction process. Why I say extraction process start here? Because this part will be under review with supervisor. Okay, supervisor will be reviewing it, right? So while supervisor review, you can start the extraction process. You can do in parallel. Once supervisor agree, okay, they will be here ready. By that time, you finish your writing process ready for journal. Then, or let's say not finish, okay, finish or didn't finish depending on your speed lah. Then you prepare for your defense, your mock defense lah. Okay, we train a lot of, because why we need the whole process? Because that is how we coach and guide them. You come here ready, now it's time for you to write journal. Go and write your journal. So then, before they get the result out, they want to prepare for defense. Before we train them for defense, they will go and write the journals. Okay, we'll teach them how to extract and so on. Then they'll go for proposal defense. By that time, this 1 or 2 journals here, which will be either concept paper or concept paper and SLR paper. All right, systematic review or conceptual paper. From here, actually, if you really want, here, this 10 pages proposal, you can write a scoping review paper. But more on this, I'll explain in the upcoming class because we only have 2 hours, right? So now you go for proposal defense, you do your defense correction. Okay, these are all important steps in your journey. Then the data collection, analysis, then you combine, you get your thesis out, right? This is another step for you to extract journal. Why this is important? Now you have your data and results already. So now you start extracting empirical papers and meta-analysis SLR. Because you got results, what? You can do both. Now, why I tell here? Because once you combine here, your supervisor will be reviewing. So while they review, you write your journal, what you're doing while then. Now is the time for you to write. So you write. If you can do in parallel, that means you can write this, the thesis and the journal at the same time. But you can't. So you write the thesis, then you extract here. Now you're extracting here. So then they give you back, they say, okay, now you're ready, do all the correction, send for proofreading. Before you come for proofreading, your journal already ready. You send for submission ready. Then you do proofreading. Prepare for Viva. All this review process will be going on. You're responding, blah, 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 all that going on. You prepare for Viva, go for your Viva, come out, major or minor. Then by that time, probably already published or got correction. You do your correction, submit, do your major, minor, proceed with your life. Okay? Jew, is it possible to publish an article from a PhD work done more than 5 years ago? Very tough. I still have. Although I've published 16 journals from my thesis. My one thesis, I published 16 journals. Because after my PhD also, I still continue publishing. Okay, during my postdoc also, I published for my thesis. I published 16. I have another 2 to 3 more. I got no time to publish. And it's just burnt out. Because already too old. But we can look into the possibility. Because we can see how we can actually ideate that. But have to look at the paper. All right, Doc? Okay, so these are the steps, how you can do in parallel. If you're confused, don't worry. Go through the chart when I share the slides, or it's on my website. You can check out my website at proofreadingbyphd.com for the diagram. All right. How do we normally assist? These are the steps. How we normally do things. Like again, same modes. Professor Abdul Qasim Al Amin, International Journal of Environment and Sustainable Development. Indus Science. Oh, Indus Science is actually very good journal. First time I'm hearing Indus Science to have their own proofreader. I've got many papers accepted in Indus Science before. This is first time I'm hearing. Very, very crazy. Indus Science. They are good journal. Okay, okay, okay. All right. Um, I'll take note on that. Very surprising, actually. Okay, so coming back to this, mode 1 and mode 2, content commenting and online coaching. What is this? When you write a paper or when you write a proposal, when you write a PhD proposal, 10 pages or your thesis, you don't know whether you're on the right track or not, whether it's Scopus eligible or PhD eligible, it sound like masters and so on. These are the two good services you can look at. Content commenting, that means we'll give you critical comments amongst our 102 consultants who are depending on your subject area lah. And coupled with online coaching. Okay, we don't do face-to-face anymore, now all online. Already changed our lifestyle itself. So online coaching to explain all the comments, because some of them were very brutal. Sometimes even I will check and I'll tone down a bit. Some will be very brutal. I scared that students will get paranoid. Okay, so I'll remove some comments. I'll smoothen it out a bit lah. Okay, but it's a good reality check lah. It's a good reality check. Yes, doc. Exactly. It's a good reality check. Then we have modes 3 and 4. This one for people who is just starting out, or even after starting off a very long time, never get a productive output yet. Don't know what to have an output. So then we can do accelerated thesis consultancy, which we will build a plan for you to go very detailed tuition lah, very detailed tuition in a way. And then, or direct content editing for special cases. Now, whatever we do, the most important person in your PhD is your supervisor. Masters also lah, is your supervisor. Why I emphasize on that? Because I don't work with, I work with students directly, and most of the time I also work with the supervisor and the student directly. Okay, so I'll discuss the supervisor. Because supervisor have trouble to educate them sometimes. Okay, they have very hard to communicate. They don't have time and so on. Then the student come to us. I'll normally try to talk to the supervisor directly, so I have clear communication. Or sometimes if they don't want, I don't. It's up to the clients. Okay, I have no obligation, but I know most of the supervisors anyway. So where I want to go? Okay, so whatever happens, our ultimate goal is to do what supervisor wants. You and me, both together. That is the respect we need to always give. Always keep that in mind. There is no, even if you go for coaching anyone lah, so many people out there. Okay, you can take anyone you want. Anyone ask you to not follow the supervisor is a very wrong idea. I've heard that a lot from supervisors. Okay, always follow what the supervisor wants. Okay, Friday prayers is almost there. I think we have to finish it fast. So let me move on. Okay, sample SRR papers. These are the sample papers I'm going to give out to all of you via notes. I'm going to email once Dr. Ayn share with me all the attendance list. Okay, this is a very good paper I'm going to share for SLR sample. All of you know Dr. Harold. This is his first paper that we worked together back in 2019, and that is where my name became Thanos. Okay, that is where I got the name from. All right, so this is a very good paper. Yeah, that is where I got the name from. I just continue using it. Okay, then concept paper. This one is Parvez paper. The first and the only concept paper that I managed to get into ISI Impact Factor 10.3. If you want to write concept paper, people tell you Scopus Q3, Q4 also cannot. I show you ISI Impact Factor, top 5 journal. Okay, so I'm going to share the sample with you as well. And then my own paper to show how to write scoping review paper, but also concept paper, Scopus Q1. All right. And you can also download this from here. All right. You can just click there and download from here. So if you haven't joined Telegram group, you can ask for the, what do you call the link. I'll still share with you. Okay. So I'm going to share with you. Okay. This is the summary. Enough articles from a PhD. I will convert this into, don't. Okay. This is the flow. Don't go to book so far. It's a lot of journals. All right. Then you can create chapter or books. But this is the primary. This is secondary. People think books is very valuable. Journal is more valuable, more impact. From there, you can create a lot of books and book chapters. Always exploit this first. Conferences for holidays. If you have to present conference online, don't bother. Why you're wasting your time? Conference for holidays, supposed to go to good destination. Otherwise, don't bother. All right. And don't go for journal from conferences. Creates a lot of problem, a lot of trouble. You rather just go to journal directly. All right. Now coming to a summary. So proposal, these are the papers you can write. Concept paper from chapter 1 to 3. Okay, let's say this is your thesis. So you got 10 pages proposal. Then you got chapter 1 to 3. Then you got 4 and 5. So this is your proposal. This is your remaining thesis. Your scoping review paper, you can write from your 10 pages proposal because you read a lot widely and then you narrow down. SLR paper, you write from your chapter 2. Concept paper, you can write from your chapter 1 to 3. Empirical paper, you can write from your chapter 4 and 5. SLR meta-analysis, you can write from chapter 4. Scoping review, again, you can write from your future research, future work. Okay? That is how you can dissect all these papers. You want to plan, this is how you can plan when to write and what to write. All right? Okay. So this one also I'm going to skip. This is all about paraphrasing. People asked me about self-plagiarism earlier, right? These are the slides for paraphrasing. How to paraphrase, okay? You need to really paraphrase when you extract your journal out. Okay, so as I've seen above, all top-notch papers from my esteemed clients, important points I always discuss with them. Don't assume your reader understands everything. Explain, be descriptive. Make sure the ideas are well structured in the paper. Get a solid editor to proof and edit your material. Very important. Your language must be spotless. Okay, must be literally flawless. And certificate must be always submitted when you submit your paper. Don't avoid your certificate. Okay, and then if you want to know, even for Dr. Harold's paper, what he went through with us, this is the transformation that we did for Dr. Harold's paper. Literally, his first SLR Q1 paper, impact factor 9.297. All right, that is what you need to expect from a proofreader. Okay, next one. Dr. Sinbung Lim from UiTM, another good example. The SLR paper also. MDPI, mana dia? Sustainability. All right, also went through massive transformation. No problem, Anwar, no worries at all. Atifa, can we ask to withdraw a paper from journal published elsewhere? Right? Yes, can. No problem. Okay, you can withdraw. Why rejection happens? Okay, this is a summarized reason why rejection happens. At editor stage, the reason is because of language. I already give you the solution. Abstract, I give you the solution also. Cover letter is the next thing I'm going to explain. Lack of novelty, I already told you how to extract from a thesis and proposal. How to strategize, okay? At reviewer stage, usually is content problem, lack of novelty. These two, I have to look into it. Then only I can advise you. Unrealistic claims, don't do this, avoid this, not a timely research. Keep your references updated, not a timely research, okay? Less than 3 years if you can, all right? Next part, okay, how to choose suitable language engineering mode. I call it language engineering mode. For thesis, always this. Proofreading, editing, structuring. For journals, like Dr. Harold, always this. Paraphrasing, proofreading, editing, structuring, all right? And on that note, we do offer ultimate thesis package up to 30% off, which include proofreading, translating, formatting services, and we provide language warranty, all right? Now, cover letter and sample. Let me show this the last bit. Please stay. We're almost done. Okay, this is the winning cover letter. Okay, we literally winning cover letter, which are used for my journal up to impact factor 11.7. Okay, very simple. Thank you, Joe. No problem at all. No worries. It's my pleasure. Okay, first, you need to start with editor-in-chief, journal name, which publisher. I will email this to you, Dr. Siti. I'll email this to you. All right. So, dear editor, first part, information, your title, names, which journal. Next part, second paragraph, central theme, novelty, depth. Let me explain to you very clearly. Central theme means what is your actual topic you're working on. Novelty and depth, explain your contributions. That means you're literally telling your editor how awesome is your paper. All right. So first contribution, second contribution, Third contribution. Now going to the next part, applicability and problem solving. This one, you already tell your editor how awesome is your paper. Now you have to tell your editor why he should consider your paper. Just telling awesome doesn't matter what. I want to buy or don't buy, it's up to me. But now you have to convince them why they should buy your idea. Because what editor wants? Citations. That is their currency. They want citations so they get to improve their impact factor or their Simago journal ranking, okay, or Scopus journal ranking, lah, whatever. So I tell them, you get citation from particular topics. What is my paper covering? So they'll get citations from all these. And due to context, and what is the actual problem you're trying to solve? Okay, I'll share with you, you can go through later. And what is the actual shortcoming? And most importantly, I state here, therefore, this paper could provide a full duplex design guideline for the 4G long-term evolution radio fiber integration to readers through Journal of Optical Communications and Networking. It is the first in the literature that reports actual full duplex 4G long-term evolution, first in the literature. This is a very, very strong statement. If you are sure, 100%, then only you use this statement. This is how I sell my papers. I literally market them, okay? And it works out. This is one of the primary reasons why your paper gets this less rejection, because the staff will read the cover letter. They will read, okay? I cannot guarantee you'll get through because of this, but why you want to take the chances, right? Okay, so I'm going to share this with you as well, so no worries. And then these are the notes I'm going to share with you: SLR paper, concept paper, cover letter, concept paper, scoping review. Okay, forget about review. I think we are running out of time today, but we'll do it next time. And if you're still stuck in terms of consulting and proofreading and so on, even if you're an academician or you're a student, publication content editing, thesis examiner response, PhD proposal consultancy, defense viva preparations, thesis to journal conversion, data analysis interpretation. These are the 6 core areas that we normally look into. Okay, so on that note, thank you very much. Have a very good Friday and have a very good weekend ahead. All right, so I'll give back the stage to the organizer. Okay, and thanks for your time. Sorry, I've taken extra 17 minutes, but we started late as well. So yeah. So Dr. Ain, we cannot hear you, or Dr. Shazwani. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Doctor, for a very fruitful sharing. Can we have one last question?
Yeah, sure. No problem.
Do you have any final question from members of the floor? I think there's no more questions.